do you use symbols in your schooling and while you're teaching?
I'm sure. I love symbolism. I think it's great. We always talk about symbolisms and what things stand for and how they relate. I don't know if I can give you specific examples right now, but certainly when we're reading scriptures, we talk about the symbolism and the analogies and the metaphors. And when his speech was a whole metaphor and a symbol.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
so I certainly teach, using, that symbols are important and that symbols are out there. So I guess yes, but I wouldn't be able to tell you specifically, I sit down and teach this and that. We just talk about how there's a lot of symbols.
Yeah.
Because if you're studying the scriptures, it's all about symbolism. And you can't really get what you need to unless you're understanding there's symbolism in life and the temple and the gospel and everything else, and learn to interpret those symbols and recognize them in your life.
And so why is that important to teach symbolism? And
well, like I said, because it's the way the Lord teaches us. It's the way, and also it's such a beautiful, I love it because it's such a beautiful way of teaching many layers at the same time, where you can read one passage one day and get something out of it and go read something else, and because of the symbolism it means something else and you've learned something new from it. And so when we utilize that in our own lives, we can teach more effectively, we can learn more effectively, and then we recognize God's hand in his teachings and truth, because that's how he teaches us.
And President Packer said, no symbol can be fully defined. And so you can always learn something from that same thing. That's what I love.
How else can the prophet go to the temple for how many years and still be learning new things?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I just went to the temple and I saw the movie with the bald devil for the first time. I keep wanting to see it, but I've never seen it. But I saw it for the first time. But one of the things it had in there is that when it's talking about the changing and putting the fourth day of creation, and you have plants on the land, it shows this picture of the water and the dirt, and it's black and it's kind of dry and ugly, and it's like, okay, greenery, hello, greenery. That's what I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, it's creation, it's plants, and then all of a sudden it just pulls out off the shore, and it's just like this green moss is growing over the things, and then it becomes trees and these flowers. And I thought, oh, that's so beautiful. All of those little elements, the water and the land and the greenery, is all right there and all right there. It just made me smile.
That's awesome.
It's just so beautiful. I love the symbolism of that, and I love how they do that in the temples too.
Right. But there's so, of course, that's what we're taught. It's all about symbolism. So if we're not teaching our children symbolism, we're doing them a disservice.
Yeah.
Especially in learning the gospel and in anything that God's teaching. We have to teach them how to relate to symbolism, how to find symbolism, view it, see it, interpret it.
Recognize.
We have to recognize. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. It was not coming. Exactly.
Yeah. So I love that. Obviously, you know that.
Yes.
One of the things that President Hunter said, because it's where we're studying this year, right, and is let the temple be the symbol of your worship. And I thought, whoa, wait a minute. The temple is a symbol. Well, see, he said, let the temple be the center of our membership, the symbol for our life. And I thought, okay, how can the temple be a symbol for my life? Does it show my birth, my death, my, all the mistakes I made all the way till I die? And yeah, I guess it could, right? It can be a symbol for my whole life.
Yeah.
And I remember one person said just before I went on my mission, he says, your mission is like a mini life. However you perform in your mission is how you're going to perform your life. And I went, pressure, tons of pressure.
No doubt.
But I love that because it made me work harder on my mission. And it made me do a lot more than I would have done. And so now I think as the temple is a symbol for my life, then I'm going to is making this decision. Is that like the temple? But the temple, if I were in the temple, would I do this? That type of thing. So it's the statement has actually made me rethink my decision making in my life.
Right. That's a great statement.
Yeah.
Well, and I love too, our ward had a theme one year about making the temple the pattern for our homes.
Love that.
And I thought that's just really beautiful, because if our homes are patterned after the temple, which is where we want to go, which is our way home, which is symbolism of our whole journey in life to get back to the Lord, then when they go there, they're going to feel at home again.
Yeah.
And I love Alyssa. So Alyssa just got married. We went to the temple together in July. It was July. And we came out, and her friend asked her, so how does it feel to like be wearing garments, and does it feel different? She says, no, it feels like home. It feels comfortable. It feels like, why haven't I been wearing these my whole life? And the temple felt like home, and it felt right.
Love it.
And she said, I think that's because of how you taught me, Mom. Because you always taught us that way, and it felt right. Wow. And so I was like, oh,
That's nice.
One of those happy mommy moments. But yeah, if we do, then it does feel right. And that's how it's supposed to be, right? Because we want to feel like we're at home when we're with the Lord. We don't want to feel uncomfortable.
Exactly. Yeah.
To be notified of our newest YouTube videos, be sure to click the subscribe button here. Head over to our new website for the latest gifts and promotions. For more videos like this one, click this playlist here.